number one, just to be clear, what you're saying is you made the hard decision early on to see a lower number on your profit and loss, to pay yourself less money with the long-term focus in mind of, okay, and the intentionality of take less now to build out something for the long term, which obviously worked out for you with all
Right.
all that you've owned.
Yeah. And they get, I think the key was I want to keep my freedom. Okay. So people say, well, I want to open my own business because then I'll have freedom. Well, it's the exact opposite, actually. I long some days to be an employee and be able to clock out and go home and not have any thoughts about the business until I'm scheduled the next day, right? I've never had that, but I've always wanted to keep my freedom because my freedom and creativity are what is going to build my company. So I had to, bring people in, and cover these positions as they came up. And if I had to pay, I had to pay. And I'll tell you, there were some years when we broke even. Like we made very little money, but it was an investment into the future. And today we're a developer, we're an operator. I have 200 employees working for me now, but I have key people that have been with me a long time, and that's why we're successful because we can move fast. We do a number of facets that most people don't do. The development and operations and maintenance and our own internal bookkeeping and accounting and everything.
Yeah, incredible.
And now we're more profitable than ever because we do that.
Yeah,
It's all in house, right?
which is amazing. And so there's a couple questions that I want to ask. But what do you own now? Because you've owned over around 47 Dunkin' Donuts over the years, 15 Subways, 2 Rosati's, bunch of gas stations. What does your portfolio look like today?
So today we have 12 Dunkin' Donuts we're operating and 2 Rosati's. We've just signed a deal to start developing Jimmy John's. Why after all these years do I have 12 Dunkins and not 100 Dunkins? Because I don't need them. I don't want to have that, I do well with what I'm doing. And we're a developer. So we've over the years, we have developed over 45, 46 Dunkins now. We've sold pockets of them as opportunity has come up. And I have a reason why. And somebody asked this question yesterday. Actually, the head of development for Jimmy John's asked, why have I sold my businesses? Because I look at it as something that if I'm making, let's say I'm making $50,000 a year in this business, I can sell it and net $500,000. I've just taken 10 years of profit out of it, right? But I didn't have to run it. And people say, well, there's tax implications. Yes, but if I make $50,000 this year, I have to pay tax on that money. So if I make $500,000 and sell the business, I basically didn't have to run the business for the next 10 years. So I don't like holding on to things. So what I've held on to is all the best stores and kept those best stores through the years. And they're in different counties. And then we've developed around those stores sometimes a few other stores and created a small network. Palm Beach County, Okeechobee County. We've done the same thing for Pierce. So if the opportunity's there and you can sell something, take out your future profit, the money you would have to work for the next 10 years, get it today. You can do more with it. You can reinvest in another one that maybe now you don't have a mortgage. So it's, and it's a lesson I learned to not have all these balls in the air. It doesn't mean a lot. That you have so many businesses because you have to still operate them and every one of those entities has to be profitable. So keep it to where you can manage it and make a good living. Don't get greedy.
And essentially what you've done is the term take some chips off the table, right? It's no different than someone putting the core concept is no different than someone putting money in the market, right? And then they have gains. And you go ahead and take some of those gains off, and then you can, redistribute that capital elsewhere. So, I think it's a very distinct lesson for folks that, hey, you don't know, it doesn't have to be all or nothing. You don't have to hold on to these things forever. I recently interviewed a guy, Paul Reeser. He actually has a cool YouTube channel, but him and his family owned over 38 Sonic locations in the real estate. And they did wind up holding on to all of them and had a massive exit to private equity with selling all of the land and the buildings and the businesses and, all of that stuff. But I know that he said that, over the course of the years, there were some times where things got sketchy because of how much leverage they were using in order to, continue to, put up land and other stores as collateral and keep going and stuff like that. So it seems like your strategy can be used in a way to manage the financial stress and pressure of it all, to kind of deleverage yourself, right?
Mm-hmm. It always, when you're building a new business, you're building a new franchise, even if it's your first restaurant, build it as if you're going to sell it. Run it as if you want to sell it one day. So what does that mean? First of all, in your lease, make sure you have an assignment clause where you can assign it to another Dunkin' franchisee without permission from the landlord, because the landlord controls whether you can sell your business or not. And with standard leases, you cannot sell your business. So you cannot assign it without their approval. And too many times I've seen where people don't put that in there and they get stuck, or the landlord blackmails them on the way out and says, you're able to, you can sell, but you have to pay us $50,000. We'll sign off on it.
Oh.
And there's really no law to keep them from doing that because they control the lease and the building.
If you enjoyed this short clip from the podcast, you can check out another short clip right here. Or if you want to watch the full episode of this podcast, you can watch that here. And remember, knowledge is not power. It's applied knowledge that's power. Take care. Have a great rest of your day.